Hello and welcome to Screen Views. I'm Dave.
I'm James.
And this is the special Minisode where we look back at the month's reviews and discuss our favourites.
This episode is still unscripted and unedited, but the Minisode contains no spoilers, so just kick back and enjoy the conversation.
Our aim is to get you excited about our previous reviews, hidden gems and upcoming releases.
We hope you enjoy it and feel free to tell us why, so like, comment and subscribe.
Hello. Hello, James.
Hello.
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah, the same order beginning. We've not got that sorted out yet.
So it's the Minisode.
Yeah.
First Minisode of many Minisodes.
Yeah.
I like saying the word Minisode.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
But we can only say it in this episode, though.
I know,
So,
because it's...
So we're going to be making a use out of like the justification for using the word Minisode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll just say it over and over again until people are like, this is really annoying,
So
and your
today's
podcast is
Minisode.
terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to start off with film, and we're going to look at the films that we've reviewed over the month.
Yep.
No spoilers.
Nope.
Okay. So should we start with... let's start with highlights. What was your main highlight for this month? The month of April 2018.
This month, the highlight which going into the month, I thought it would have been Love, Simon, because of the amount of attraction it got. But actually, the highlight for me, when seeing other films, was A Quiet Place. It was such a really good. I've seen it 3 times now. I could see it again, and I just know I'll enjoy it just as much. So yeah, A Quiet Place is definitely, and it's one film which I'm excited to get on DVD or Blu-ray and introduce it to other people. It's an experience. So
Yeah. So A Quiet Place was my choice for highlight as well. So I think we're agreed on that.
Yeah.
I think it's the most complete movie that we've seen in terms of theme, characters, story development. Just it's got the whole package, I think, and it brings something interesting or unique to the table.
It doesn't. So everything it attempts to do, I think it does successfully. I think a lot of time films do try and do quite a lot, and even though so it's not like this other films, because we have more negative things to say about the other films, but this film just seemed to be quite tight.
Yeah,
knew what we were doing.
Yeah, it's a good way to describe it.
Yeah, and so I just felt like it's really nice, tight film, and I just really enjoyed it. Had a blast.
Yeah,
really good.
Quite contained as well. Yeah,
and
it's quite an easy one to explain to listeners, which is about a quiet place.
Yeah, quiet place.
and you've got to be really quiet, and if you're not quiet, bad things will happen to you. Yeah, good thriller, good thriller / horror.
Yeah,
and I feel like it's got the same sort of excitement that kind of was it Get Out had last year. I'm not seeing it, but
you not seen Get Out?
No, not yet.
Okay,
no.
Cool.
So I need to get around to that. So what about lowlights? What was the downer for this month?
For me, it has to be Ready Player One. I know that's not going to go down very well.
Well, not with me, James.
No, I know somebody who got a tattoo. Of
Oh,
Ready
really?
Player One after seeing it like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but I feel really bad. I know I'm not in the majority here.
I don't think you should feel guilty for having an opinion on that film and not enjoying it.
Yeah, looking at all of them, looking at what it attempts to do, or all the things that it attempts to do, it failed in so many of them. And I think if it was more scaled back and just tried to do 1 or 2 things, then maybe it would have been more successful. Because it does do quite a lot of really beautiful things in it. It's just that I walk away with so many things which I don't like about it more than things that I do like about it, which is a shame.
Okay. My low light, I've actually selected the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Society.
Yeah.
This was a difficult one because I didn't have such a strong reaction to all 4 films that we've watched. So we've mentioned 2 of those. The other choices were, 3 of them actually. The only other choice was Love, Simon. So I think I chose this film as my low light just because I got something more out of the other films.
Yeah.
So in some ways it wasn't. It's been a good month for me because, I didn't dislike Ready Player One as much as you. So the only reason that I'm putting it in that low light is simply because I think Their Finest overall was a better movie. You disagree?
No, you just made an error.
What?
It's Guernsey literacy, and potato peel pie, not Their Finest.
No, I just said I preferred Their Finest. So
gotcha. Sorry.
That's
here's
my
me
reason.
Being Sherlock. Here's me thinking I cut you out. No.
Yeah. So what I was trying to explain is that if I had a choice of Their Finest and this film, the Guernsey literary potato pie. Peel Pie Society. If I had those 2 films in front of me, I'd probably recommend Their Finest more than this one.
Yeah.
Just because I think it was better, but that doesn't mean to say that this one wasn't as good. I still think it was a good movie. I think it was a strong month this month with the 4 sort of choices that we've had.
I think a lot of people would like look at me saying Ready Player One in comparison to that film. Think obviously that film's the worst. However, I just think Ready Player One kept on trying to be delightful, trying to be really playful, and trying to have that charm. And even though the Guernsey Literacy and Potato Peel Pie Society film doesn't have charm all the way through, when it does have it, it's really nice and really surprising. It's just really warm, and so the whole film isn't that, but when it does does it successfully. But with Ready Player One, it tries to do that all the time, and it's quite never successfully for me.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. There's a few moments I'd rather have the little bit of greatness, and then the whole film of meh.
Yeah. So I think we're probably going to flip on the next category, which is biggest surprise. Maybe. What was your biggest surprise, James?
It has to be the Quiet Place.
As well. Oh, you're doubling up. You're doubling down on the Quiet Place.
If I don't double down, then it surprised me.
Okay,
say going into it, I thought 800 words would. I don't know. I thought 800 words would be my number one.
Oh, but that's TV, so we've.
Oh no, sorry, not 800 words. Love, Simon would be my number one.
Okay.
And so I expected that to be the highlight of the month, and I expected that to. And A Quiet Place, I thought would be like a nice little small indie film, but it's blew me away, and it's blown the world away. Because I'm used to going into seeing these little small films, and I'm used to seeing these little small films, and I would expect this film. I had to travel all the way into central London and watch it at Covent Garden Cinema because it wouldn't be shown nationwide. But it seems to won the heart of everybody, and it's kind of nice when everybody loves a small indie film. I kind of like that. I kind of feel like, oh wow, if people are seeing this sort of cinema, which I like this to go out my way to see. So,
yeah, it's got that crossover appeal and hype about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, what was it? I selected Ready Player One for my biggest surprise because, I was talking to people beforehand and they were saying, oh, it's Spielberg's best film ever, it's going to be amazing. And I was just like, no, it's come on, steady on, no, just no. But, I watched it and I really enjoyed it, and I got that feeling that I wanted to watch it again straight away. And I just like the whole premise of, I think it's quite current in terms of the transitional period that we're going through into sort of virtual reality being an actual potential thing in modern society. So I think there's a lot of connection there. I like the ethos that it tries to sell around computer games and inclusivity. And so I think, and plus I enjoyed the references part of it that I know sort of annoyed you a little bit, and so for me, my biggest surprise was Ready Player One, and I know that's maybe I know it's a populist choice because I think a lot of people would probably listen to our podcast and think, why is Ready Player One not like the best film? I don't think we need to go that far. Like I don't think we need to say.
Oh, we've already reviewed it.
I mean, but what I mean is that it's not like the best blockbuster that you're gonna ever see. It will in the scheme of like 2018, it'll probably get overshadowed by quite a lot of other bigger movies.
Yeah.
But I think it is worth a go, and I think if you haven't seen it yet, and you're thinking, you want a fun film to watch, go watch Ready Player One. It won't be a wasted adventure, and you'll have a good time. So so that was my biggest surprise, I think.
Cool.
That's why I've gone for that. But also because I didn't know we were allowed to double down. So I'll be aware of that for future references. Okay. So one thing that in this section, the film section, we're going to do this with the TV as well, by the way, listeners. We want to just talk about a quick hidden gem. Yeah. And the idea behind this is something that we've not reviewed, but we're recommending because you might not have heard of it, or it's just a bit like, not had the hype that maybe Quiet Place or other films like that have. Yeah.
Well, for me, because I watch quite a lot of films, so it makes sense if I choose the hidden gem. I would have to say Ghost Stories. It's out in cinemas. And with the hype of A Quiet Place, and with the dreary awfulness of no such thing as a bad movie, but Trick or Treat, Truth or Dare is interesting. I'm not going to say it's awful or terrible or you should never watch it. I'm just going to say it's interesting. Ghost Stories has sort of like gone under the radar. It has Martin Freeman in, and a few other classic British actors, and it is surprisingly really good. As like big chunks of the movies is really good. It's a lot better than I expected it to be. It's a lot more chilling. It's a lot more scary. It's not an all in all great movie. I didn't connect with the whole movie myself, but I went away from the movie thinking, okay, I may have not enjoyed that bit or that bit or that bit, but my God, I'm going to remember this movie. My God, I want to watch it again. So, by all means, I'm not saying it's an incredible, all-round great movie, but given the flaws and given the pros and cons, I would say I greatly came out the film enjoying it. So it's based on a play, a British play, which apparently did really well. So if you've seen a play, you might love the movie. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's a good treat for me. I watched it on a whim, and I was not disappointed. So yeah,
sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to the TV section. So we're gonna have a look back at what we've reviewed TV wise for this month. So what about your highlight, James, for what we covered TV wise?
My highlight has to be Divorce. It's a difficult one. This is it. Like I watched like so much good TV this month, but Divorce has to be my highlight. It's so easy, so digestible. It's quick. It's very witty. It's very consistent, and it's really hard not to like Divorce. It's really hard not to enjoy each second of the episode, and I think it's planned out really well, character-wise. The characters they choose to portray, the characters they keep in the background, and how they've sort of they've said, this is a TV series, we've spanned it over this many episodes, we've got all these great characters, we're not going to oversaturate the first half of the series for the sake of the second half of the series. I think they've spread out the characters really well. I've not started watching the second series yet, but however, I've really enjoyed the first series. I'm going to watch the second series. Yeah, for me, it was sort of like I really enjoyed it. I thought that has to be the highlight for me.
Yeah.
So.
And it also sort of does what it says on the tin in terms of the title. It's about a couple going through a divorce. So yeah, I'm glad again because like it was one that I sort of recommended that we look at, and
I would have watched it if you hadn't said anything.
So it's a kind of a bit of a. I feel like it had slipped under the radar a little bit as well.
Yeah, not seen any advertisements for it.
It's really good. So I'm glad you enjoyed that. My highlight, I chose I Love Dick.
Cool.
I think, I'm a huge fan of Andrea Arnold, so the fact that she directed a few episodes, I think, is a big draw for me. I think it does so much for feminism and raising issues around talking about feminism and how we portray feminism on screen and or not, and how we perhaps should. And there's a lot in there about sexuality. So this show, if you've not seen it, the premise is there's a female filmmaker who's married to a guy who I think he gets tenure or something. I think that's what it's called in America. But basically, he has an offer to go and study in this institution that's owned by an artist who turns out to be Dick. And then the female character gets this sort of obsession with this Dick character. And it just plays out in very interesting ways. I think the surrounding characters are very three-dimensional, very interesting. I think it's inspired me a lot in terms of wanting to make similar things film-wise. So I think I Love Dick for me was just like head and shoulders above anything else that we've looked at, so it would be wrong for me not to put that forward as the highlight.
I did love I Love Dick. I really did. But there's no way I'll be able to watch I Love Dick at any point. I'll have to be at the end of the evening, have some time. And it would be a close second if I was to start ranking.
Yeah, I think with I Love Dick, you got to focus and you got to concentrate on it.
It deserves that.
Yeah. So Divorce is available on Sky Atlantic and Now TV, and I Love Dick is Amazon Prime. So that might help you decide what you watch out of those two.
Cool.
What about your low light? What was
Jessica?
Yeah. We agreed on that.
It's we in our last episode we did expand on exactly why we didn't like it.
Yeah.
A lot. I don't want to go into that too much, but
which is out now.
Yeah.
We need to tell James.
Yeah. It's
episode 6 out now.
If you listen to this episode before you listen to the last episode, then shame on you.
No. Or just go back and see what we have to say about Jessica Jones.
It's sort of like it springboards off possibly one of the best Netflix Marvel shows, and so I think it possibly is so it looks so bad because of how great the first series was.
Yes.
So if this was the first series on its own, maybe we have a different opinion, but we know how good it could have been. I think that's the most disappointing thing. On paper, I think storyline-wise, on paper, if it was like a 6-episode story, I thought it probably could work. However, in execution on a 13-episode series, it didn't really work for me.
Yeah, and I think what we agreed on is that you could still watch this and enjoy it. It's not, it's not the worst thing that you ever see. It's not the best either, but it's. If you want something a bit mindless, you don't want to think about it, you're a big fan of all the other Marvel series, you might still get a lot out of it, but I just personally didn't get much out of it at all.
Yeah.
So moving swiftly on then, biggest surprise, TV-wise?
To me, has to be 800 Words.
Yeah!
I gave it a net in our review, but I'm still watching it.
Yes.
Still watching it.
That's because it's good.
But it's still it's okay. It still is okay. But I'm just watching it all the time, and I just can't stop.
Well,
It's like cheap
quite
chocolate.
easy. Yeah.
Okay, you have a bite, thinking, "Oh, this is horrible. I'm not gonna eat this," and then you find yourself eating the whole bar, and you're thinking, "What am I doing? My brain has said this is. I don't really want to carry on with this, but you just keep doing it." And it's like I can't even call it a drug because you aren't even aware. You aren't even aware like you're. It's like if you're always visiting the smoke room and you don't smoke, and you realize you do have a nicotine addiction. You just don't realize. You just think you're just going to a smoke room to talk to your friends, but really you're just going there to get that little bit of nicotine. Okay, I don't know. That's a weird analogy, but yeah, it has to be my. Yeah, I keep watching it, and the amount I'm attached to the show, it should be like I'm really excited about it. It should be like I'm addicted, but I don't feel I am. I'm in denial, and this show is I'm in denial for how good this show is. I don't want to say it's amazing. I don't want to say it's incredible because it's just okay, but I'm attached, and so yeah, that's the definition of surprise. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I got you hooked, James.
Yeah. First time is
I'm
free,
the smoker.
so.
I'm the smoker that's got you hooked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this was a surprise for me as well because I saw it advertised on BBC. I thought, that looks like interesting, and I just thought, you know what, I'll see what it's like. Give it a go, and I think and I just loved it. And it purely subjective, you know, is it like from a filmmaking point of view, from a sort of storytelling point of view, it's not going to blow you away, but it is a little bit of fun. It's a little bit of like fresh air. You know, it's going to help get rid of those winter blues, and I think I really recommend it. So the premise of the show is about a family whose mum/wife has died, and they moved to New Zealand to start a new life in a very small town. And it's like a little bit oddball, a little bit quirky. Some of the characters are quite interesting and strange, and you know, it doesn't. There's no high drama, particularly. There's no low drama. It's quite a happy medium, isn't it? It's like, but it's quite consistent in terms of just where it takes you.
Yeah. It's bladder than Neighbours, but it's still addicted.
Yeah, you see, I think it's just a little bit more sophisticated than Neighbours.
Well, I mean, in terms of drama-wise.
Oh right, yeah.
But in terms of you'll catch yourself humming the theme tune. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to hum it. But you'll catch yourself like having the theme tune in your head.
Yeah. So 800 Words is available on BBC iPlayer at the moment.
Yep.
So there's a few seasons coming on each day. I'm actually looking forward to at the end of this week going home and just like binging a few episodes.
Yeah.
Be good.
I mean, I think I think it will be the end of the series at the end of this week.
Oh, okay. There's a season 3 though, isn't there?
Yeah. So it's like a week and a half for each series.
Yeah, and that's what you were worried about, that if you have a long enough gap, you can get over that nicotine.
Yeah, I mean when
move on.
Yeah, I'm hoping I still want to watch Wanted. There's another Australian TV show when it comes back on. So
Okay.
I've caught up with that show. Sorry, I'm going on a different show.
Yeah.
So,
okay, so I'm going to select the hidden gem for the TV, and I have gone for The Sinner, James.
Oh, yeah. I totally agree.
Yeah, because I just feel like it's slipped under the radar.
Yeah.
So this is a Netflix show which is available on Netflix, obviously. But the premise of the show, this is no spoiler because the premise of the show is about a woman who kills somebody, but she doesn't know why.
Yes,
and
that was very good. Yeah. That's very good. I think the whole great thing about this show for me is you just don't know where it's going, and it's just like, what is this show? What style? What theme is this show? Like, where's this going? And I went to Totally Blind without any adverts, without any adverts or trailers was the same thing.
Yeah.
And I just
I think that's the best way, actually.
Yeah.
And I think knowing that it's about the main character, a woman who kills another person, doesn't really give away what the show is about, and that in itself is quite interesting. Because a normal sort of murder show is about who done it, not how it came to be.
Yeah.
So I think just that premise in itself is quite interesting.
Bill Paxman, is it Bill Paxman or Bill?
Oh, the main actor in it is amazing, isn't he?
Bill Paxman and Jessica Biel are both incredible in it. They really are.
Yeah, I think it's one that you actually recommended for me, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I was like, "What is this show?"
And I remember you saying, like, "I don't even know what genre this show is."
Yeah,
because so it's a bit of a mystery. It's a bit interesting. It's intriguing. It's quite dark at times.
The audience are not allowed, basically they're even though we're following the main character, we sort of have the perspective of everybody else who's looking at the main character, and it's kind of I thought it was really interesting. I'm hoping that anyone who watches it will really enjoy it. I would say give it a go. Give it a go. It's not as we've been talking about consistency. Like, what's the first 10 minutes, and you'll if you like that, you'll enjoy it. What's the first episode? If you like it, you'll definitely enjoy it. I would say give this a couple of episodes.
Yes. I'd agree with that. You sort of have to get into it a bit and get your head around what the show is about. Yeah, and only get to know some of the characters a bit as well.
Because the first episode just confused me, not in a really bad way. Because I was like, I don't know what this show is. I don't really, and a lot of people may not be comfortable with not knowing what they're watching. So yeah, I'd give it a couple of episodes, and then see if you like it. And so, but yeah, I totally agree. Secret hidden gem. No one's really talking about it, and Netflix keep piling more and more stuff off, so they don't really highlight it anymore. But it's still on there, so root it out and give it a go.
Okay. Yeah. So looking forward to this month in terms of TV. What we've got Jane the Virgin next week.
Yeah.
Which so the premise of this show is it's quite a comedy-based show. It's interesting because it teaches you a lot about telenovelas, which is sort of an interesting dynamic about the show, which you might not know going into it. But it also has sort of three central characters, which Jane being the most central. So it's about sisterhood, motherhood, and the premise of the show is about a Jane who is a virgin, and so I kind of don't want to give too much away about that, just to avoid spoilers. But I think it's quite fun, and so that's something that we can look forward to.
Yeah.
We've also got Westworld season 2.
Cool. Okay.
So I think that's a big one. Sky Atlantic, Now TV.
Yeah.
So Jane the Virgin is on Netflix.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting to say what stuff's on. So Westworld season 2.
Cool.
I think most people are aware of this show. It's quite massive, but again, without giving any spoilers away, it's a Western with a twist.
Yeah. I've not seen it yet. I know it.
Oh, okay.
Dave drops his jaw.
Yeah, it's another Game of Thrones jaw-dropping moment.
Yeah, but I'm aware of the twist, and I'm aware of it's really hard. Because I watch YouTube quite a lot, it's really hard not to be spoiled by quite a lot of stuff. But I will. But I'll be happy to give that a go.
Yeah. So another show I think we should look at if we can is Legion season 2.
Yes.
So that's Fox UK and Now TV.
Yeah.
So we'll perhaps look at that. I think also we probably need to touch on Lost in Space because that's the big Netflix release.
It's a big Netflix release, but I don't feel like people are banging on about it. I mean, I'm watching it. I'm really enjoying it, but I'm not really seeing hype about it.
Well, I think it's like early days, isn't it? Like Stranger Things, sometimes it.
Yeah, I watched that on a whim.
It takes like the right people to start talking about it, and then
with Stranger Things, I watched it at started watching it 7 o'clock in the morning on a whim, and I watched the whole season in one go.
Yeah, it's
before the hype.
Yeah, so if you've not seen Stranger Things yet, go and see Stranger Things, and then come back and we can have a conversation. No. So I think obviously we we can't cover everything, but some other things of note is maybe season 7 from Netflix, Billions season 3, that's Sky Atlantic and Now TV. And then also another show that might pop up as a hidden gem at some point is High Maintenance Season 2, which is also on Sky Atlantic and Now TV. So there's a lot out there.
Yeah, that sounds familiar, High Maintenance.
We're definitely going to focus on Jane the Virgin. Probably going to look at Westworld, Legion and Lost in Space after that.
Yeah.
So maybe if there's some dry thing releases in sort of going into June, then maybe we can look at Suits, Billions or High Maintenance.
Yeah.
But those for me are the standout list of shows that are have just been released or are due to be released and that should be on people's radar, I think.
Cool. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Talk about future films. We're probably going to be watching. We are definitely going to be watching The Avengers next week, along with Jane the Virgin. Tully seems quite an interesting film with Charlize Theron in.
What's that film about? Because I've not heard anything.
It's about going back to your hometown and everybody else has grown up properly and you are still stuck in the same sort of maturity level.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting.
I like one. That premise has got me intrigued. Okay.
There is also Breaking In. We might watch that. It has like a early noughties black star, Gabriella Union. She was like really big, like like growing up, right. And then I just haven't heard from her in ages. And all of a sudden, she's popping up in this film. She's been in a lot of like. I don't want to say black movies, but movies with an all-black cast aimed at black society in America. So rather than just general Hollywood, she's been mainly in these black associated movies. So it'd be really interesting seeing her back into an all-out Hollywood movie.
Okay.
There is.
Do you know what that film's about at all? Sorry.
I think it's about someone breaking into a home, and her as the mother is taking control and trying to get a family.
Have I seen their posters around about a mother or something?
Mother bringing. I don't know. There's a poster of Attitude. She's on there. Okay. And she's the only thing that sells the movie. They're not using anything else on the poster. Yeah. It's just her. And to be honest, it shows how much of a great star she used to be because I'm sold by that poster.
Okay.
I know. So there's also obviously there's Deadpool, which is a big film coming out next month.
Yeah, we've got to look at that. I know we do a lot of superhero stuff, but
they're big for society and
current, and I think that'll be an interesting one to look at again in comparison to the first one,
especially references as well, and also Solo movie as well.
Yes.
Coming out. Yeah.
Okay.
One movie which I've not seen that much buzz around, but Anon. I don't know. It's got Clive Owen in. And I'm
sold.
Always interested in what Clive Owen does.
I am sold.
Even when Clive Owen does something which just looks terrible, I just seem to enjoy it. I can't remember the Shoot 'em Up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing. Best film ever.
Yeah.
Clive Owen is always a draw for me because I think we've spoken about this. I think it gets called different things by different people, but I call it conversion person. So it's the person that you would convert your sexuality for. And Clive Owen is my man.
He's out there online. Okay.
It's out there. It's in the world. I don't care. If I ever get to meet Clive Owen, I'd probably be like some little giggly schoolgirl who wouldn't know what to say.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say my conversion person. However, there might be a TV show or film we talk about in the next month with my conversion person in it.
Oh.
And it'd be really interesting if anyone guesses what that conversion person is.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. But
so it's a fun it's a fun game to play.
Yeah.
So if you're out there, and it's one of those games that it's a good like game in the pub, and you say it to people and people resist for a bit. And then they get well into it, so it's quite funny watching those people go, I don't. What are you talking about? I wouldn't do that. And then like 10 minutes later, it becomes a list, and it's not just one person, and they're ranking people in order. And
it also becomes like a nice discussion about like beauty of the same sex and the opposite sex as well, because the opposite sex sort of like the women on the table, they sort of join in and think, I can sort of understand that.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of it's nice.
It's a fun one.
Yeah.
Sorry, James.
No, it's okay. So I think that Clive Owen one may be the hidden gem. But yeah, who knows?
Or we can just go see it and review it.
Yeah. Depending if we
the problem.
I mentioned 5 weeks, five films there when we've got like 4 weeks.
Yeah. So the problem that we've got is the schedule and like our super busy like cool lives.
Yeah. So
we have to try and coordinate when we can get to the cinema, and sometimes it's not always straightforward as to what we can see and review.
Well, we coin flip this month for a film, so
so
sometimes it'll be about schedule, but if there's too many, and we'll just coin flip. So the two films which are ideal schedule wise that we're not sure what to see, we'll coin flip it and let fate decide. So.
Yeah, that's our new thing.
Yeah.
Due to our, it's not due to our lack of planning or anything like that.
Well, the cinema times only get released like a few days before.
Yeah,
so it's not.
That's annoying.
It's just a cinema society.
Okay, is that everything?
I think that's everything. It's
so
40-minute mini episode.
Okay,
so
cool. We'll wrap it up then.
Yeah, thank you much. Hope you enjoy this month, and we've got. We'll be going full steam ahead for next month, so stick around and like our join us on Twitter, join us on Facebook, join us on YouTube, all that shindig. Give us a like, give us a comment, and let us know if you're enjoying it. And even though we don't want bad feedback, just give us feedback if you want to give it.
Well, there's no such thing as bad podcasters. Maybe what we should say.
Oh, yeah.
Apply your own.
Yeah. It's not a bad podcast, you just don't appreciate it. I like it.
Okay.
Oh, cool. We'll wrap it up before the 40-minute mark, and we'll catch you soon.
Yeah. Cheers.